Hello, everybody. I'm Rina Lang, and I'm hosting the session today, this training that people have been asking me for a while. So I have a couple of clients and that I still coach around helping them get their coaching businesses off the ground and so on. Of course, as I mentioned in the email, I myself, I use Coachbox. And Coachbox, the monthly fee is $97. And I keep, advising my clients, don't sign up for Coachbox until you started making money, because you don't want to have such a high extra cost while you're still in the beginning of your journey. And Mailchimp is a really, really good solution to that problem. It's very affordable. In fact, a lot of the features that I'll be discussing with you today, they're available on the free plan. So you don't even need to put any money up front. You can start using it and start building up your emailing list. Just recently, I got asked again by a coach who has been around for a while, why does she need a mailing list? And so again, it's very, very, very important that we build up a mailing list, because without it, you don't have a business. Facebook can crash tomorrow. Instagram can kick you off their platform completely. We see it happening all the time. In fact, just last week, somebody emailed me and I had a YouTube presence for a long time. And I don't know what they said in what video. The AI is so intelligent these days. Their whole YouTube channel got blocked completely. Like all the followers, everything is gone. Subscribers, email views, videos, everything is gone. So there is this danger. Of course, don't do anything bad on social media platforms, but there is just that danger. And so that's why it's very, very important building up your emailing list. I keep saying that I had 300 emails on my emailing list before I was ready to send any email to anyone. And that's the thing. Collect it first, decide later what you're going to do with it. And later, when you have an idea for a program, whatever you want to launch, it's good to be sitting on some sort of an emailing list. And I'm sure if you go diving into your Gmail account, whatever you're using, you will be able to get a couple of emails together from your former clients, from people you have met in the coaching programs that you have done. Nothing stops you from already kind of like pulling that list together and analyzing that list and seeing what can be done with it. But the thing is this: from the day I started my business, I set up my Calendly link at that time, and I immediately integrated it with HubSpot, so that every time I was seeing someone, they were already automatically put into my CRM. Now, Mailchimp started out more like an emailing service, but now, as I look at the features that are in Mailchimp, and I would say like 70% of all the features that I see in Coachbox, Mailchimp has. So it really has everything that you need as a coach, especially as someone who is kind of like just starting out and just considering, what sort of emails you will be sending. On this note, I would like to introduce you to Joanne. And Joanne will be talking to us also a little bit more about emailing sequences and so on. If you remember Joanne was with us maybe 6 months ago. We had a podcast with her, Ildiko and I. And ever since then, I loved what she was doing. I loved what she was saying. And I started working with Joanne. So she's been my personal copywriting coach and emailing nurturing sequence coach. And those of you who have been in my role for a while, I've been bombarding you with lots of emails lately. And it's all because of Joanne. So she'll be talking to us a little bit also once we start talking about sequences and emails and so on. Joanne is going to jump in and share some of her wisdom with us. So I look forward to this part. So thank you, Joanne, for being with us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here. I'm super excited that you're talking about Mailchimp and emails today. I totally agree. Start your email list, and 1 year later, your 1 year future self will thank you for it.
For sure. Sorry, I removed your spotlight before you were ready. Okay, excellent. So Joanne is going to be here with us. Let's get started. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. Just kind of like on this note. Okay, can you see my screen? I'm not going to be talking you through, how to sign up for Mailchimp. I'm sure you weren't born yesterday, so you know how to sign up for something. So it's very, very easy. But I will be talking you more through all the features that Mailchimp has. And we have had Mailchimp probably for a year right now, in our coaching community, coaching connection. So you probably have seen, emails coming from us from vccoach.com at gmail.com. So this is the service that we've been using, and all this while we've been only on the free plan. So again, whatever we needed for our coaching community, and we have 1,300 emails there now, we've been able to do on this platform. We didn't need anything else. Let me know if you have questions. So I'm just gonna kind of like finish later. I was looking at the landing pages. So first off, if you go to Mailchimp, you will be seeing, let me remove this Zoom thingy from the top. Okay. So here, when you click on create, of course, it will give you all those different options for all those different things that you could be creating on Mailchimp. There's, of course, the email automations, websites, landing page, and there's also the creative assistant. I usually don't use the create option because the same things that were just shown to you, they're actually already available here in the panel as well on the left side. So first off, I will talk to you actually about the audience. And so this is a dashboard. You can see that we have 1,300 emails, 1,200 subscribers. So these are the people that have not unsubscribed from us. It gives you all the stats here, like how have been your email campaigns performing, and so on and so on. So it's pretty cool. And all the contacts, I'm not going to click on all the contacts right now because there is sensitive data. But basically, I suggest if you already are sitting on a bunch of email addresses, you start collecting them all in an Excel sheet. And I thought I'll show you what kind of file you're allowed to upload into Mailchimp so that it actually works for you. And it's a CSV file, so you can't just upload an Excel sheet. It has to be a CSV file, and I'll show you how to get one. But you create something like this. You divide your, kind of like split first name, last name. It's very important you split the first and last name, because when you start sending out emails, you don't want to be emailing, hey, Ildiko food. You probably want to say, hey, Ildiko, right? So it's good to split it up. You add your the email address of that person as well. And it's very, very, very important that you start tagging people from the beginning. I use tags all the time. Every time, like right now, you signed up for this Mailchimp training, you've been tagged in my system as someone who showed interest in this training. It doesn't matter whether you showed up or not, but you showed interest, you registered, you probably want to get the replay. That's why it's all, you get tagged. And now I see many, many people, they already have like 10 different tags. But this is how I slice and dice my emailing campaigns. Later on, when I start sending out emails, I can target somebody specifically who's been interested in my Mailchimp content, which means I can offer you specifically, I will just email you without bothering my other people in my database with that information that they were never interested in the first place. And here you might want to create as many tags as you want. You might want to, some of you only work with women, you don't work with men, but maybe you host a podcast, or maybe you have partners who are male. So you definitely want to start tagging people based on who they are. Are they a client? Are they a partner? Are they someone who you hosted in your podcast? So they were your podcast guests, or whether a podcast host, maybe you went on their podcast. So it's very important you start really building in all those tags. Later on, you will really feel like, wow, it's so much easier than to slice and dice and send specific content to all those different people. And then when you go on file, once you have that list ready, and you go on file and you click on download, you will be able to download a comma separate values file. So click on that, and this is the file that you upload into the system. That's the only file format that works. So if you go then on your contacts, you can either manually add a person to the system, or you can upload that CSV file that we've just created. Let's see. And here right away you have that option. add contacts, add a subscriber, very easy. System is slightly slow. Email address, job title, coaching niche, and tags. So here again, you can add as many tags as you want. After a while, you will just know what is your standard tagging system. Like, is it client or you say customer? You know, if it's always client, then it should be always a client, not a customer. Yes, question? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Yeah, hi, Irina. Did you create some of these fields uniquely? Because I don't remember seeing the like coaching niche in my Mailchimp when creating a subscriber.
No, this is something that I created specifically when I first was uploading our original list. You can actually create new fields, and I'll show you how. Okay. So if I go, maybe I'll go back to this Excel sheet. I can just say, maybe I'll call this new column notes.
Okay.
Oh, I call it coaching. Yes, let's call it that, like that. And I will say this person is women's, and that one is health coach. That's not something that is going to pop up in as an option in Mailchimp, but you can totally customize it. Good point. Good point. I'm just going to download that file again. And then you can also go to add contacts and you import contacts. And this is where you get the chance to drop in that list, upload files, CSV, continue. Browse. Continue to organize and subscribe. Of course, you always want to subscribe those people, update any existing contacts. So sometimes you might have overlaps and you want to update your contacts with additional information because these contacts don't exist for sure. Search and create tags. This could be test. Continue to match. You see how it matched first name, last name, email address. Tag. So here I would select tags. Okay, it's called here tags, and I called it tag. Maybe I should have just put them all into one column, all of these different tags. Anyways, I'm gonna leave it like that, coaching niche. Because I already have that column, it doesn't actually ask me anymore to create it. But if you go here, you see how it's not matching, it's orange. So you need to select something else. And because I already use tags, it doesn't allow me anymore to use a tag, but I could create just one, create a new field. So this is how I created it. Cancel and finalize input. So even if I didn't sort that issue, it still allows me to import those contacts without a problem. Okay, let's go back. Under the contacts, you have something called the sign up forms. And by the way, you can manage all your tags under the tags tab here too. You can create new ones. And you can just see what else is available there and just manage your tags. Later on, you can also create whole segments, you know, based on tag. You can create a segment just for women, so that only women are in that particular segment. And when you send an email, you no longer select everybody who's tagged as a woman. You can just select, okay, this is my segment. These are the people that I'm targeting. There's a bunch of things that you can create here. You can create also surveys. I looked at their service feature, and it's also pretty cool. It's very, very easy to create surveys. There are already pre-built surveys available. For instance, I took this post-event 10 scale survey, which is already here available. You can grab that template, modify it slightly to whatever your needs are. And the good news is you can add that survey right away into an email template. So you don't have to create a separate email. You can just add that survey right away into an email, and then it's available to you too. It's a good way to actually check in with people and see what they're doing, what their opinion is about maybe an event that you were just running. I just realized 1.5 hours is probably not going to be enough for me to explain everything I wanted to explain to you today. But here you can just modify this whole text, go into this field, start typing something else, duplicate question, call it something else, ask something else. It's really very, very intuitive. I don't think it will be that difficult for you to create it on your own. Then you continue to design, review, continue, and add it to an email. There should be an option for the email. Yeah, I think so too. The tags, you can probably add them separated by a comma into the same field. And there you can already start creating a new email where that survey will be embedded right away. So it's very, very easy. Any questions about contacts before I move on to the campaigns? Before we talk about campaigns, I wanted you to have a look at the email templates. When you send newsletters all the time, then it's good to design just one template where you can slightly change information, but it has that specific design. I designed some time ago this Galaxy launch because I was sending 3 different emails, and I knew, okay, rather than me creating over and over again the same email, I just went ahead and created it. Again, create templates. And I think there are also pre-built templates available. Any questions while this is loading?
Irina, I was just going to ask, is there a simple way of just emailing one person as opposed to like creating an email campaign or email template and having to choose a segment or something?
They do have, but I never email a person through the system. I usually always go to my Gmail and I just email them directly.
The reason I sometimes want to like maybe email just one person from Mailchimp, because I don't use Gmail, I use some other webmail thing. And sometimes I think that with Mailchimp, your emails don't go as much into the junk mail as it does with other emails. So sometimes I want to send it with Mailchimp, but there doesn't seem to be an easy way for me to just send to one person unless I'm not aware of it.
And there is, I'll show you where, but here you have all these different designs for templates. Go in there, play around with it, create it. It's very, very easy. Yes, there is. I was seeing it somewhere. Where was I seeing it? Maybe it was under campaigns, all campaigns. Automations website, my logo, discover. Probably people are not really using it. That's why it's buried somewhere. Inbox here. If you go to your inbox, this is where you can see people's replies. If somebody directly replies to your email, and this is where you can also write an email directly. And it's a paid feature. So if you want to initiate a conversation with someone and send an email directly through Mailchimp, they want you to pay for it. That's basically it. But I've never used it so far, and there was never a need for it. In the campaigns, it's the same. It's very easy. We created the design some time ago, and we just reuse the same one over and over again. Why reinventing the wheel? So I just go and see whatever was there before that we've created. For instance, like Mailchimp training, you can see the stats. We send it to 349 people. You can go here, replicate that design, and then you change just whatever you want to change. Maybe the images, maybe you're announcing a different event. You just change the image. You change the text. You change the buttons, but actually the view of the templates remains the same. And by the way, on the free plan, that's probably what I forgot to mention. On a free plan, you can have 2,000 emails and you can send 10,000 emails a month. But you can only send 2,000 emails in 24 hours. Because I sent you guys a reminder last night, sometime 8 p.m. my time. That's why it's giving me this warning that I can't send anymore because I have 1,200 contacts. And the interesting thing is when you upgrade to their other plans and start paying, they're giving you less contacts. Instead of 2,000 contacts, you can now just have 1,500, which means should we decide to upgrade and get this plan, we're just like 200, 300 people short of having 1,500 contacts, which means as soon as we have more than 1,500 contacts, this is the price we would need to pay. So latest then, Mailchimp might not be the available solution. Right now it works for us, but if I was using Mailchimp right now for my business where I have 1,600 emails plus, this wouldn't work for me anymore. But what you can do is you can archive all the contacts that have unsubscribed. You've seen we have 1,300 contacts, but only 1,200 are subscribers. So we could remove or archive everybody who is unsubscribed. And that way we would free up still some space. Maybe it will be enough for us until the end of the year. But I think staying on a free plan is still a good choice for us for now. Okay, you enter all the information, subject line, and then you design the email, and you can test the email before you send it out. It still says it's an unfinished, it's a draft. You can rename this thing, call it something else. Mailchimp. No. Does it go to? Latest here, you would probably start wanting to slice and dice who does it go to. It might give you options to decide if it's gonna go to everybody or a specific group of people. Subject lines, email, again, I'm not gonna go too much into detail. I think the interesting thing is moving to the automations. How about we start talking about automations? I'm sure you've used some sort of an emailing platform before. I mean, this shouldn't be too new for you. And if you need more support with this, do let me know and reach out. The bad thing about automations is you can't do it on a free plan. You would need to upgrade to their $25, I think, or euro monthly plan before you can start using automations. Having said that, you can start setting up automations. You just won't be able to run anybody through it. And automations is something I've been using for anything and everything ever since I signed up for CoachBox. It's really an incredible tool that is going to save you so much time. And for you, I suggest when you think about your automations, you really map it out first on a piece of paper. If somebody gets my ebook, okay, a person was created in my list and they got a tag ebook. If somebody has the tag ebook, what do I want to happen to that? I probably want to send them right away an email with the ebook. I saw another client of mine making the mistake the other day. He had a landing page, people sign up for their ebook, for his ebook, but then immediately they get redirected to the ebook, which means the danger is people gave you the wrong email. But what you want is really for people to give you the right email, because they're more likely to give you the right email if they really, really want to get their hands on your freebie, whatever you're offering them. And then they come into your world and something gets triggered, and that's the automation. They get an email with that ebook. And I'll show you how to set it up. But even if you pay $25, for the subscription. It will only allow you to have 4 trigger points, no more. It will not allow you to create like this huge kind of like trees of sequences. It will only allow you to have 4 points, which is good enough in the beginning if you're not launching anything. When I launched my group coaching last time, I probably wrote like 35 emails. So it was a huge tree, you can imagine. But for you, if you're not launching anything big yet, but you just want kind of like a freebie to be sent out, you want to have a simple nurturing sequence, then 4 is more than enough. And I'll show you how you can also get around that 4 limitation. Because first thing, what you want to do is create a journey, and you create a journey just for adding tags. If somebody downloads your email, you want them to get a tag, client, and you want them to get a tag which says ebook lead magnet, which are already 2 journey points, which means, yes, you can still add an email and maybe add a second email, but that's about it. So it's not that much. So I'll call it ebook tagging. Start building. Choose a starting point. So my starting point would be tag added. No, sorry, not added. I want to go back because now I want to create a tag first. Choose a starting point. I want to say that these people signed up for something. I want to get more specific about what exactly they signed up for. These people have engaged with my landing page, which is where my lead magnet is. They signed up on that specific landing page. And I think it should give you an option, but it's my landing page. And in my landing page, there is of course the ebook. So if they signed up to get my ebook, add condition, campaign activity, well, this should be fine. I shouldn't be needing to add anything else. It's not allowing me to do the drop down. Okay, I'll just do something else or open the emails in the last 5 days. It doesn't really matter. And then if they did that, then what I want to do is I want a tag to be added that says tag says it's a customer, and then I want add, and then I want to add another journey point, which is another tag, and I want them to be an ebook lead magnet. Save. And so that's it. And I would leave it there. And I would create a completely new workflow where the trigger point is going to be these people got a tag ebook, and now I can build a four-step sequence for them to start nurturing them. And as I'm going to build this, perhaps I hand over at this point to Joanne to talk to you a bit more about the nurturing sequences. You can keep looking at the screen while I'm doing it, but Joanne is going to be chatting with you now.
Sure. So the great thing about email automation is that you basically are getting your emails to work for you. So there's a bunch of different email sequences that you can set up, like a welcome nurture sequence, just a nurture sequence, a sales launch sequence if you're selling something, or like a reactivation sequence for anyone who has kind of been idle on your list and you want to kind of do a win back campaign is what it's called, to see if they'll re-engage or unsubscribe. And so I thought it'd be great to talk about a welcome nurture sequence today, because it is really prime real estate in terms of your email list. So basically, your welcome nurture sequence is a sequence of any number of emails. I usually have it as 6 emails. You can have it as 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It really depends on what you want to do in it. And the whole purpose of the welcome nurture sequence is to, 1, welcome them to your email community, 2, really celebrate that the fact that they are there. You want them to give the feeling that they've made the right decision to join you in your email journey, and to really welcome them into your space. It's kind of like when you invite someone to a dinner party at your home. What do you want? How do you want them to feel? You want them to feel welcomed, feel comfortable in your space, kind of know what the expectations are. And so that is the overall feeling you want to give for your welcome nurture sequence. And then also, after welcoming them in, you can write a series of emails to nurture them to a point. So at the end of it, your main call to action could be something like book a call with me, or it could be a low ticket offer, or if you have like a next easy step for them to take, like watch a webinar video, whatever it is, you can put that main CTA at the end. So I thought it would be great to kind of talk about, what your sequence might look like. Does that sound good? Okay, I hope I can share my screen. Let's
Just a
see.
second.
Share. There we go. Can you see my screen? Okay, great. So this welcome nurture sequence is for 6 emails. And I call this a mind map. It's basically an outline, and I highly, highly encourage you, when you create your welcome nurture sequence, is start with a mind map, start with an outline, and that is going to make writing the sequence so much easier. This is really the foundation and the backbone for creating your sequence. And so what I'm showing you right now is an outline. And just to give you an overview, I just put email number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I just put what the main content is for that email. And then over here for the timeline of when you want to send out an email, a lot of people ask, do I send one out 1 per day? So then the 6 emails are done by the end of the week. Should I do once per week? It really depends on you, your business, and your audience, how you want to do that. You can have it send it out 1 per day. You could also send it out once per week. You could even play with it and you definitely want to send the first one out right away. I usually say the second one, send out 1 or 2 days later, just because you're fresh in their minds. They just signed up. And so if you send it maybe 5 days later, they might forget that they signed up for it, and they just may not remember. And so I would say usually the second email, send at least 1, 2, 3 days after the first one. And then from there, you can kind of play around and see like, maybe I'll send 2 the next week. So I'll wait 5 days. Next one, I'll wait 2 days. Just see what feels good. And also, once you have a sequence set up, you can always look at the metrics and see how the open rate and click rate is, and you can always play around and change the timeline. So that is the timeline. And then for the content, kind of what I was talking about, that first email, what Rena was saying is you definitely want to deliver your lead magnet in your email instead of giving them the lead magnet on like a thank you page after they sign up, because you want them to go to their email and look for your email. And then one of the main things you want to do in the first email is, 1, welcome them, celebrate that they're there, really encourage them to use your lead magnet. So you might put some benefits, like what are the benefits of your lead magnet? Put it in here to help encourage them, because people are very busy. Even though they signed up, they may just forget. They get a lot of emails, and it goes in their dust pile of freebies that they collect. But you really want them to use your lead magnet because you want to show them what kind of value you can bring to them. And so another big piece of the first email is the housekeeping, and that's how to keep your emails out of their spam or promotional folder. And for each email domain, it's different, like Yahoo, Gmail, they all do it differently. So the best way is to have them add your email address to their contact list. And that's going to help keep you out of their spam or promotional folder. And another way is to have them reply back to this email. If you can come up with a very engaging question that they will respond to, which is very difficult in email to get people to respond to an email. But if you can make an engaging question for them to answer, and even just say, this will help my email stay out of your spam folder, that is the second best way to kind of stay out of spam. Then from there, what I say is the content here, like Mythbuster, FAQ, about me, the tip, hack, or value, case study, testimonial, and work with me. These can kind of switch and change. You don't need to put it in this order. I just have it in this order so you can kind of see the structure. It really depends on your audience. If your audience is very much into like the research and the data, you may want to start with something of value, like a tip or a hack. If your audience is more like into nurturing and building relationships, you may want to start with your about me as the next one, because they really want to know who you are. If your audience is more like the action type, they want to just get started, you might just start with some kind of case study or testimonial and say, hey, start working with me right away. So really think about who's your audience, who are you writing to, and where do they fall in terms of if they're more into like the knowledge, the action, the nurturing, the relationship, and that will help you decide where to put which content to really optimize your welcome nurture sequence. And so very quickly, I can just go through like a Mythbuster FAQ. So for example, like I'm working with a client right now, and she has a very unique role. She's kind of like a coach / tarot reader / comedic stand-up person. And so the second email she's going to send is a Mythbuster, because there's an FAQ. There's just a lot of questions around what exactly is tarot reading? How is this connected to comedy and coaching and all that? So think about one of the biggest myths in that you have, since your coaches here, like I put here, like what people think coaches do, what coaches actually do. Or think about one main FAQ, the most frequently asked question that you get, you can answer it here. And then in terms of call to actions, maybe I'll get into that later. I don't want to overwhelm you. And then for the about me, you really want to establish your credibility here, and you can go a few different ways. There's a lot of strategy around talking about yourself. One of the most common mistakes in a welcome nurture sequence I see is you're just talking about yourself the whole time, because not in like a like look at me kind of way, but you want them to get to know you. But there's a bit of strategy around how to talk about yourself in a way where you're talking about your audience more than yourself, but also they're getting to know you, to build that trust factor as well. So there can be one on that. And then a tip, hack, or value. This could be something you want to think of, like maybe a how-to tip that's actionable, easy to implement, or you want to give them some kind of value. It doesn't have to be a how-to. Like if you can provide emotional value, or you can provide if you can get them to laugh, that provides value. So something that just shows a little bit of what you can do for them, and give them that little win. If you can give them that little win, then at the end, when you're promoting your offerings, they're going to say, wow, they gave me this lead magnet that helped me do this, and now they're giving me this value. I want to book a call with you. Case study or testimonial can be a case study, you kind of tell a story around one client you've worked with, or testimonials could be like just showcase 1 to 3 testimonials. Don't do too many because you really want to just focus on kind of like middle of the road examples, not like super high successful and not like down here. Just so they can imagine themselves in those shoes of the testimonials, and then they can also imagine working with you. And then the work with me, it can be a more like a promotional email saying, this is how I work, book a call with me, I'd love to chat. And you could even have like a self-segmenting option there. If you work with many different like audiences, they can self-segment themselves and click, and then that will automatically tag them, which is what Rena was talking about, like tagging. They can automatically tag themselves, which is great. So that's content. I don't know, do I have time to talk about CTAs, or should we leave it at that?
Yeah, sure. Mention quickly. CTA.
Okay. So there's a lot of strategy around call to actions, the CTA as well. The most important thing I would say is keep your call to action to just one. The biggest mistake I see is having like 3 to 5 call to actions in one email. And that's just providing way too many options for your readers, and they will end up not clicking anything because they're just might be overwhelmed. With that being said, I don't like to say you should or should not do anything. So if it works for your audience to have a bunch of different things to click on, that's fine too. But usually for the case is just have one clear CTA for each email. And if you need a second one, like a sub CTA, that's fine too. So really think about when you're writing each email, what is the action I want my reader to take at the end of this email? And that CTA could be something like click on some kind of content in your Instagram or a blog or your YouTube, a YouTube episode. It could be asking an engaging question. And again, as I said, it's difficult to get people to respond to emails unless it's really something that they're connecting with, like you're talking about fanny packs or something. So if you ask an engaging question, you can ask them to reply back to the email, or you can direct them to another social media platform and have them DM you there. People are more likely to engage with you there conversation-wise than an email. And then another CTA obviously is like book a call with me. I usually by email 4, 5, and 6. It's about when you're ready to work with me, book a discovery call, if that's where you want to lead them at the end of this sequence. So that's kind of a brief overview of CTAs. Each one of these has so much more strategy, but I won't get into that right now.
Sure. And if you would like to get this template from Joanne, do reach out to her, and she'll be more than happy to send it to you. In my case, Joanne has actually written my first 6 email sequence because I just didn't have the confidence to do it myself, and I didn't even know where to start. So luckily I came across Joanne at that time, and she was able to get the ball rolling for me. And then after that, those 6 emails, after having worked with her on flashing it out, I actually asked her to become my coach and coach me, because I wanted to learn that skill, because now it's really helpful, it's really useful to me because I'm writing emails all the time. I've automated my business to such an extent that every time people come into my world, such as you signed up for this event, I had to write the email confirming your attendance, then send a reminder for people to join again, and I will send a follow-up email with the replay. And all of that requires, of course, writing skills. Not very sophisticated, of course, not like a nurturing sequence. But the thing is this, once you have that, those automations, it's really worth paying for it. To have the automations, you can automate so much of the interaction that is happening with your clients. You can automate that tags are being added to whoever is coming into your world. Did they come into your world because they downloaded an ebook? Did they come into your world because they joined some live event that you asked them to register for? All of this, you can quickly create landing pages and add forms into it. People register based on the form that was registered. a certain tag gets added to that contact. And so boom, once you automate it all, it really takes some time to think through it. And I highly advise you in that case to really flash it all out on a piece of paper. Okay, when somebody downloads my ebook, what do I want to happen to that contact? I want them to get a tag. Okay, which tags are they getting? I want them to get a certain email and then wait for 3 days, another email. How many emails are you going to send? Are you going to send 6 or are you going to send less? And at this point, I also wanted to check in with you. We had this idea already a couple of months ago with Joanne. Perhaps there's an interest in this community for Joanne to host an event, specifically maybe 4 sessions, to teach you guys, to coach you guys on your emailing sequences so that you can write it, for your business. Is there any interest for that? Would you like me to pursue that idea with Joanne? You can raise your hands. Sure, yes, okay. Anybody else? Anybody else who would be interested in learning how to write sequences? I know of people who hired very, very expensive copywriting coaches to write their emails and so on and so on. So there are people like that who really help you to write your email in sequences. But I believe in 4 sessions or so, if you understand the basics, and if you go and do, as homework, the writing of your own emails, I'm sure in 4 weeks you can have some sort of a nurturing sequence in place. So anybody else who's interested? Cool. So we will have a think about it. Perfect. We will have a think about it with Joanne and see if this is something that we can maybe design, develop, and offer you to guys and see if anybody else is interested. Okay, thank you so much, Joanne.
Yes, thank you so much for having me here, and super excited to always share all my value with email marketing and email copywriting and strategy. I will drop in the chat my email address. So if you would like to reach out to me and get that outline, just email me there and I will send it to you. And I will also put into the chat a link to my free guide that I have, my lead magnet, that will add you to my email list. And this is a free guide that helps you basically structure your email in a storytelling format to really help engage your audience. So thank you so much for having me here, Rina. Thank you so much, everyone.
Social media, or what's the link? If those who are going to be watching the replay and not going to see the chat, how can they reach out to you?
Oh, yes, you can find me on Instagram. My handle is Desk Plant Creatives. That's the name of my business, and it has a dot in between each, desk.plant.creatives. You can also find me on Facebook, Desk Plant Creatives, or my name, Joanne Homestead. And then also I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me there if you search Joanne Homestead or Joanne Homestead Copywriter. You can find me there as well. And from there, you can find my free lead magnet in my Instagram bio, or on LinkedIn, you can find it in my featured section. And on Facebook, you can find it on my Facebook banner. Perfect.
Thank you so much, Joanne.
Sure.
So I see a question. That's where we are heading now. I see a question in the chat that somebody has assessments that they want to share. What's the best way to send them, build them into the website with the help of Mailchimp? So they also can collect email addresses in one place. So the thing is this, you can either embed a form in your existing website. Some of you have your landing pages somewhere on a third provider website. I'm personally, I prefer having my landing pages in my CRM as well, because then everything is just nicely integrated. I don't need to, create a form, get a code, go somewhere else, embed it there. Because once you get your place like me, where I'm hosting lots and lots of events, and I'm creating landing pages for different events all the time, plus I'm having all those freebies and so on, it really gets complicated hosting or having your landing page somewhere else. And Mailchimp already has a place where you can start creating landing pages for free. So the free version of it already has that pre-built. And so let me show you how it's done. So here, so I was going to show you this sequence, but okay, let's go to the website first. So even if you don't have a domain, you have never bought any domain with anybody, and you don't even know maybe if you need one yet, still it won't stop you from collecting email addresses right now, right here. And it's not going to prevent you from having a landing page of some sort, because by having an account with Mailchimp, you will already have their unique domain pre-built for free. So our business is called Coach. And so you get this website, this domain, which is coach.mailchimpsites.com. So on a free plan, we can't customize it, but it's already good enough. You know, if I want to save money, if I don't want to start paying anything, you know, anybody, then I'll just keep it right here, right now, and I can start sharing that. And so here, if you go on edit sites, let's see. You already have some pages pre-built, but I want to design a completely new page. And I'll say, I will add here the new page. I click on add page. It gives me the 2 templates that I can choose from. And I will call it maybe contact. This is going to be my contact page. And I'll use this design. Usually, what you need for your ebook is very little information. You just need maybe your picture. You want your picture on it. And you want some sort of a box where people can start filling in. You can either go and create a form in Mailchimp, which doesn't really look nice, but you have that option too to build it right away in here, which looks slightly different. It just looks so much easier and so much better. And how do you do this? You go in here, edit page. And what you can do is add somewhere here a section, let's say. And this section is gonna have a subscribe button. Click on subscribe. And then you choose the design. I want this simple subscribe design. And I add it now. It only has right now the email as an option, but if I click on the field, I can start asking first name, last name, too. And I can ask other things like coaching niche. That's something we have preset. And that is already a form that is fully integrated, it's fully workable. And here, instead of subscribe, I just say, get my new fancy ebook. And you put the ebook title here. And this page is good to go. Of course, you delete all the other things that you don't need. I delete this because I don't want it. I wanted to keep it clean. I just want, you see, there was already a subscribe thingy. So to answer your question, can I edit this button? I think I might be able to even edit this to get ebook. And you can replace the picture, which I'm not gonna do. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. Go on the image here, and it will allow you to change it. Background image, you can change it to something else. Replace image. I usually go for either a picture of my ebook or a picture of myself, or you holding the ebook, whatever. Maybe holding ebook is going to be hard, but this is already your landing page. It's done. There's nothing else that you need to do. It's already integrated on the backend. You don't upload that bunch of the documents that you want to send to your clients. You don't upload it into the system. Instead, what you do, this is done. Get my fancy ebook. I publish the changes. It's already done. There is an URL for that link too. You can customize it, but what you do with this is you go into your automations again. And then in the automations, you set up an automation. for when people sign up, submit that form, basically subscribe, whatever they do, subscribe to get that ebook. An automatic email goes out to them where you have hyperlinked the access to that content that you want to give them. But the content, my ebook is hosted on my G Drive. If I send my ebook to people as an attachment, it's going to blow their emails and people are going to block me as a spam or whatever. I'm going to be flagged for it. So you never, ever send any attachments. You always park your attachments somewhere on the G Drive. You just hyperlink your email, the email that you send them. Hey, congrats, you got my email. You subscribed for my ebook. Here it goes. Here's the link. Access the link. Does this answer your question? So it's not that complicated. It's even better than using the form. Having said that, I think the free plan only allows you to create like one form. In our case, specifically for the coaching connection, we did design one form. I'm going to go back to the forms. I haven't explained the forms yet. But this is the form that we designed for people who join our Facebook group to sign up, fill out their information. You see, this is where we have coaching niche, what's the biggest challenge right now, job title, where people can fill this out and they'll be also subscribed to our emailing list. But as you can see, the email link for this is not very fancy. It's just a long email. What we did, we used Bitly to shorten the link, and that's what we have on in our coaching connection. If you look at it, and I highly advise you do this. I highly advise you do this when you create your Facebook group. And as a coach, you definitely should have some sort of a Facebook group. We have these questions that people fill out, such as, where you're stuck, what's your email address? And actually, most people, they just give us the email address here. They give it to us here. And what CoachBox does, it actually scraps that email address and creates a contact in my system. Mailchimp doesn't do that. But what we did, we added that Mailchimp link. We just shortened it on Bitly, but you can see it's also here. And many people in the past have always, not always, but often subscribed to our email list using that link. This is what you should definitely do. Or instead of creating again that form, you just go back to those landing pages and you create Facebook subscribe page. And you go through the same process. You add some sort of a nice banner. You add some sort of information about your Facebook group. Hey, I'm doing this and that. Add your picture. This is what I'm all about. Do you want to be on my mailing list? These are the cool things I send through my email. I send you in event invites. And people can subscribe there. So I suggest you start putting these links out anywhere and everywhere. The more links you put out for people to subscribe, the easier it is for people to come into your world. And this is how you start building up your emailing list. I started out having my ebook first as a lead magnet, just sending it to anybody and everybody. If you haven't seen my Wallachie training, watch the Wallachie training where I specifically discuss how you can start automating the process of connecting to people, sending them automatically your lead magnet. That's one thing. I host lots of events. From now on, everybody who wants to join my events, they would need to sign up. They would need to sign up to get full replay, for instance, or I build in some bonus sections that are not going to be on the replay, or only people who sign up will receive the full replay. This is how you start bringing people into your world, because most people that can't join your live events, like now we have how many? 6 people on this call, but there were 25 people signing up. So most of them will just get the replay. So rather than just making your replay available for free, why not telling people, hey, how about I email it to you, register? And that way you start building up your email list. And think about the other freebies. Some people are doing freebies which are visualizations. So they have an ebook, but they also have a visualization. Some people are gonna sign up and get your ebook. Other people are gonna sign up and get your visualization. They don't like reading, but they like a visualization. You start basically branching out and giving them different options for the things that, for the ways they can come into your world. Their form builder is really not a very nice one, but you can here create an embedded form in case you're hosting your landing page somewhere else, subscriber pop-up, contact form, and so on. I just worked with this one, and I found it very, very cumbersome. In the past, we used HubSpot, and I found HubSpot so much better, but since we switched from HubSpot to Mailchimp, it took me a while to figure out what they wanted from me. I don't think it's very, very intuitive, but here you go. And I didn't see options for me to create several forms. Maybe it's paid option that they have, but this is what we've designed. And this is pretty much pre-built, these different options. If there's something you don't want, you can just click on this little minus sign and remove. But there were a bunch of things that were pre-built. Many people say don't ask too much. Information usually is first name, last name, email address, because if you start asking too much information, the chances of people abandoning your, basically abandoning the intent of subscribing for your, to come into your world is higher. So you might wanna keep it simple. And then it gives you also that option to design some sort of a visual on top. So as a header. And you design it in the same way as always. You add some picture, which is here, the picture function on top. You browse through your pictures, you upload a picture, and you copy in some sort of a text. So this is something we wrote a long time ago. We also hyperlinked our YouTube channel. To hyperlink, it's always here. This little sign, any platform that you use, it's always like that. It's always this hyperlink sign. So I'm not going to do that now. Save and close. Any questions? Anything you want me to dive deeper into? Anything I didn't cover? One thing that I discovered today that I wanted to mention to you, if you are someone who uses Calendly and you're paying for it, you can integrate Calendly with Mailchimp. You don't need to be on a paid version in Mailchimp. So long as you're on a paid version in Calendly, you can integrate Calendly with Mailchimp, which means if you're a Mailchimp user and all you have people scheduling to be on your podcast and you give them a Mailchimp link, or you people want to have a 15-minute catch up with you, or people are scheduling discovery calls, you can just go to the integration Mailchimp. I'm not using Calendly anymore at all, but you can just integrate, which means that also you no longer need to manually add contacts to Mailchimp, but you just it's just going to be done automatically. And you can also probably design some sort of automation behind. But also, if you're on a paid version on Calendly, of course, you can set up all those reminders and all that, so you don't need to set it up on Mailchimp. But one thing that I wanted to tell you is that today, when I was looking around here, I discovered that they have this appointment option in Mailchimp available now too, which means you don't need Calendly anymore. You don't need to continue paying $10 or whatever it is, the price now per month to Calendly. You can just completely, discard that, create your booking link here in Mailchimp. And that would save you money. Instead of paying Mailchimp $25, Calendly Calendly 10, you just pay to Mailchimp the 25. And again, people schedule appointments here. You integrate it with your Google Calendar. Today, I was experimenting with it, and I saw already that here's my calendar, that it's totally synced, and whenever people use the gadget, and I'm not even on a paid Mailchimp account, when people use your link to schedule with you, it already syncs with your Gmail account. You can totally integrate it. and you can set up as many events as you want, or appointments as you want. I set up the 45-minute one. I set up the 15-minute one. It's very straightforward. Like if I click on this, it asks you a few things. Is it a one-time thing? Is it a group thing? Service name, description, durations, service URL. And it asks you also for a Zoom link. So you can enter the Zoom link so that everybody knows where the meeting is going to take place. Let me maybe put a few things. 30-minute call. Something. It's going to be a 30-minute call. It's a freebie. This is going to be the link, 30-minute call. Continue. It's going to be virtual. So this is where you need to add your Zoom link. Let me see. Here. I was using a Zoom link before. Continue. You can again also specify what your timings should be. When are you available? But it also syncs with your calendar. Continue. And that's it. This is how it's going to look like. Save service. And this is the link. I think on the free plan, you can only have one appointment at a time. You can completely customize this page too. This is already their pre-built template for book an appointment, which means you don't even have to change anything. It's already here. You can maybe just change slightly the text, but you can start sending this out to people. They can start choosing if they want to meet with you. It's free. Select what are the dates. So it's like the same, the usual that also people do with Calendly. But it's going to save you some money. So after looking more closely at Mailchimp when I was preparing for the session, I realized actually Mailchimp is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I think for anybody who is starting out and wants a tool that is very, very affordable, especially in the beginning. I don't know why they have such a huge price jump from like 1,500 contacts to boom, like 299. I don't know why they do this, but who knows how long it's going to take you to get to 1,500 contacts. So long as you are still under the 1,500 contacts, you're good to go. It's a very affordable service, very easy to use. And it's also very nice looking, I must say. It's very, very nice looking, how all the designs and so on. Any questions? Anything else you would like?
Hi, Rena, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does it connect with Canva?
Yes, it does. I saw maybe this is something that I haven't discussed yet. They have something called the content creator here as well. And I think it's in their integrations, if you go to the integrations. But again, it's not going to be free. They don't connect to anything at all. You see, Canva is already here.
Okay.
But I don't think they will allow me now to connect to Canva. But what they also do, they connect to your Instagram and they connect Canva messages. I'm not going to do it now because I don't want to do it, but it's already here. So if you go to integrations, it will be there as an option. But here, the creative assistant, I found it also pretty cool. You can integrate it with your Facebook. You can integrate it with Instagram. I didn't see an integration with LinkedIn. For some of you who are more busy on LinkedIn, you might want to use something like leta.com to schedule your post. I did not see that as an option. I just saw Instagram and Facebook. Does that answer your question? But what they do, they have their own creative assistant where it's similar to Canva, and you can just design even what they say here based on your previous designs. These are the designs that they're suggesting. So I can pick any design. I can select size. Do I want landscape, square? Like if I'm designing it for emails, I want something that for Instagram, I definitely want to work with something that is square. And if you want to publish at the same time on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, because of the requirements for Instagram to have something square, I often design for LinkedIn and Facebook also square content, because I'm not going to be creating like 2 different designs. You can select the size, and they have 53 different sizes, and you can animate. You can animate or remove animation. You can then make changes here, and you can download. It's not as nice as Canva, but I usually just go design something on Canva, download it from Canva, and then schedule it on a scheduler. My CRM has a scheduler built in. Here, I know that Mailchimp does not allow you to schedule emails on a free plan. You can create emails, you can send it like right now, right here, but you won't be able to delay the sending on a free plan. But on a paid plan, you can. And so those of you who require a little bit more help with this too, I do have that offer again available, like with last time I was doing a training. So if some of you would like to have 3 sessions with me and get help with their Mailchimp setup and their strategy, especially around automations, your lead magnets, your landing pages, and so on, getting you set up, I do have that offer. As mentioned before, it's 150 euros to work with me an hour. And the offer right now is 180 euros for 3 sessions with me. So if you really want me to help you strategize and advise you based on what I know, based on what I've learned, ever since I started strongly using my CRM and also Mailchimp for our coaching community. So you can have a look. This offer is only available today. So if some of you feel like this is something you would like to pick up and want help, let me know. Any other questions?
It's a lot to take in. So thank you. I realized I'm not even muted here, but I just wanted to say that it's, wow, it's a lot.
The thing is this, so if you this is how I would go about it. You don't even need to understand the whole gamma of all the tools available there. You learn as you go, as the need arises. So first thing you want to do is go ahead and pull all your contacts together in an Excel sheet. That's the first step. Second step is, of course, go and sign up for Mailchimp. Third step, download that Excel sheet, tag it, of course, put all the right tags. Are you working with women? Are you working with men? Are you working with, do you have people on your mailing list that actually you don't want to target with offers? Start thinking, like for me, tags is everything. That's what helps me slice and dice and go search tag. I could see right away who are the 25 people who signed up for this Mailchimp event. I could see right away who those people are. I have a whole automation behind it where as soon as somebody gets that tag, signed up for Mailchimp, boom, they're in my automation. They start receiving email reminders. They'll receive an email with the replay after this because they specifically showed interest in it. And so that's what I would do first, and then upload all the contacts into Mailchimp. Don't worry about sending emails yet. If you don't have anything particular to share with people, you don't have like an event that's coming up, I would suggest just start collecting emails, integrate it with whatever scheduler you're using. If you're using Calendly, then use Calendly. If you don't use Calendly, because you're not paying for Calendly, you can't integrate it with Mailchimp, then on a free plan in Calendly, you can also just have one appointment. Then why do you need Calendly? You can have the same, just one appointment in Mailchimp too. As you have seen, I've created several appointments, 15 minutes, 45 minutes, half an hour. I can just go and select which one I need right now. Maybe you're with somebody on Facebook and they're telling you they want to catch up with you. You're like, okay, here's my link. You quickly select the 15-minute appointment. Boom, you send the link to them. So that's what I would do. It's just collect as many email addresses as you can. Second step would be think about your freebie. Is it an audio you want to do? Or is your freebie, like one person I know, one of my clients, his whole freebie is to have a 20-minute session with him on hypnotherapy session. Some of you are health coaches. Is there some sort of a test that you could do with people for free? Can you create a link just offering people that 20-minute freebie to come and sign up with you and meet you, and you're going to do whatever you're going to do for them? So there are so many things. It could be a checklist. Joanne was just here. Her freebie is probably a few pages of some very, very useful content. It's not even an ebook. It could be just some sort of a checklist. In Ildiko's case, it's a couple of whatever documents that you send out to people. Automate it in your Walaxy. Walaxy is free. Walaxy is free. Watch my training replay. If you didn't get it, reach out to me. Watch the Walaxy replay, automate it. Start getting your freebie out. Again, you don't need to send any emails at all. You can maybe upgrade to their next plan so that you have some sort of an automation function, so that when they download your ebook, there is actually an email going out so that you don't have to do it manually. If they sign up for, a 20-minute call with you, set up some sort of a sequence that they get reminded, they get nurtured. Once they had that session with you, a follow-up message a day after. Set that up. You don't have to start sending, emails. Just collect emails. And eventually you will have an idea what you could offer those people. It took me 3 months until I started organizing some sort of a live events. And this were my first emails, just telling people, hey, there is a live event, join me. And then probably again, half a year passed before I was ready to launch some sort of a group coaching or some sort of an offer. And then I started sending some sort of an offer to people once I graduated to that level of, overcame my obstacles. But nothing stops you from doing just that. It doesn't have to be complicated. Again, it's always a buffet. And I presented to you a buffet of everything that's available on Mailchimp. But you got to start eating that buffet from the right side of the table. And you eat only that which is relevant to you right now. And no more. And again, if you need help, if you still struggle, if you still feel like this is overwhelming, you always have that option of working with me directly. Or reach out to me. Thank you for being here, everybody. I really enjoyed presenting this to you. I hope Mailchimp is your new best friend.
Thanks, Rena.
No worries. I'm going to stop recording.